Greetings, everybody. It's Michael McGregor with Wyco Resiliency, formerly Sensible Living Podcast. As before, I've mentioned the reason why we changed the name. It was more of a naming, branding issue. So welcome to Wyco Resiliency. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about comms. So, and I'm not talking about your primary comms, your primary forms of communication. That is actually your cell phone. That's the phone you're going to use. Nice coffee. So, your secondary. And by secondary, I mean your ham radio. So what I have here is a Baofeng. It is the UV5R. I bought this a while ago off of Amazon.com. Cost me about $25 back then. It's cheap Chinesium crap. I mean, it really is. It's channel mode. It still works. It does what it needs to do. So this is my comms. I do have another type of ham radio. I have a mobile, and this isn't a HF radio. This is just a basic handheld ham radio. You need to have at least a minimum technician's license in order to operate this per FCC regulations. It's a simple test. I would recommend, it's called hamstudyguide.org. It's a wonderful app. I recommend it for everybody. If you're trying to learn your technicians, just go through the questions over, drill yourself. It works well with the general and the extra as well. I'm not going to touch upon the general right now. Within the Wyco Mag, we have, I believe, 3 individuals that actually are general license holders. I'm only a technician. I only hold a technician's right now. Eventually in time, I will actually be getting my general, but it's not top priority for me personally right now with a lot of stuff going on. Within building our structures, within building a mag, it's something that you want to, I have to prioritize certain things because I'm not a self-made billionaire. We all know that. So my prioritization of preparedness leads me to have what I bought first, a basic, simple $25 ham radio. I will probably be purchasing 2 more of these. The reason why is because they're cheap Chinesium, plain simple. I do like them for a couple of reasons. One, they're cheap. If it breaks, I'm not crying. If it breaks, it's $25. Damn, that sucks, but it's not like breaking a $300 radio. That is more, I'm going to be crying for hours, maybe even days. So, cost, I think the UV5R is exceptional for cost. Also, you can get these longer antennas. I don't even know where my original antenna is. What's funny about these Breeze, the ABBRE, these, if you break one of these down, it's a tape measure inside. It's pretty cool. These are actually designed to fold, to tuck away. As you get more and more into ham radio, you start building your own antennas and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I'm not at that point yet. Like I said, it's prioritization of preps. I have what I need for my comms right now. Whoops. Yeah, that got it going. So the first thing, if you don't know how to work a ham radio, this is not one of these things like a CB, you just flip it on and switch to channel 5, channel 19, breaker 19. This is the rubber ducky. Some of you may be old enough to remember that. The other one is, what was it? The Bandit and Snowman. But rubber ducky, some of you may actually remember that one. So with our comms, you have to have your secondary. Your secondary is obviously, or should be, ham radio. There are FPSs, or FRSs, sorry, Family Radio Service, FRS. If you can find out the frequency on an FRS, a Baofeng can actually be programmed for that, GRMS and also MERS. These will program into it. Some of the more expensive radios, they have blockers. You can't tune into those frequencies. That's one of the reasons why I do like the Baofengs, because if someone is actually using a GMRS and I can find out their frequency, I can actually listen in. They're not secure comms. Got to remember that. They're definitely not secure. You can have kind of your own frequency that gets in a little more advanced stuff. So when you go on there, that's something to keep in mind. So they're not secure. Your group, you are going to need to know what frequencies you're going to use. You can use a basic simplex. You can use a repeater. And like I said, if you're using a repeater, other people are going to be on there. But how do you find a repeater? How do you I don't know how to program it. And that's what this episode's about. I'm actually going to go over some programming of this in a little bit as well. So if you live in, we'll take example, I live in Cheyenne. I type in on the Googles, for those of you that can't take a joke, Google internet search or DuckDuckGo, whatever you want to use. So I use the Googles and I type in Cheyenne ham radio repeaters. And what that'll do is give me usually a list of, hey, this is a frequency number. It will tell me what my tones are, what my offset is. Is it a negative 0.06? Is it a positive 5? So I have to know what my offset is. I have to know what transmit and receive tone there is. So there's basically right there, there's 2 extra things that I need to know. And then it will also give me usually the 6-digit, it's be something like 145.745. That's my frequency. That's the 3 things that I actually have to be able to put in to my ham radio in order to hear anything. And let's see right here. This is not anything. That's not anything. Hopefully you guys can see this. We'll do that. So right there, we'll do that in a second. Right there, as you can see, there's some frequencies right there. Okay, so I'm running 2 frequencies. That's not OPSEC or anything like that. These are general comms. That's general frequencies. And Cheyenne is fairly quiet. Every so often I hear some people, but I can actually tap into Fort Collins from where I'm at, which is nice. There is a frequency within Colorado that's linked statewide. For people in Colorado, that's for you. That will help you with that stuff. So let's go on now to how do I program this ham radio. Even if you don't have a technicians, you can at least listen, you just can't transmit. So when I go on, I'm like, this is KF0DVD. That's my call sign. Yep. You have call signs. And yeah, with a global search, you can find a person. You can use APRS and track them, stuff like that. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm really not. If the bubble ever does go up and ever happens and goes boom, the OPSEC reasons, operational security, for those of you that don't know, we go into a security plan and we have specific rules, we have specific SOPs when dealing with comms and communication. But I don't divulge that or let that out publicly. It's just one of those things. So with that, let's switch over to how to program this, and so we can listen into some frequencies and talk to people in Colorado and all that. So let's switch to that now.
So here's the programming point of our Baofeng UV5R.
Channel mode.
Okay, everybody. So you're on your Baofeng.
Channel mode.
We're not going to stay in our channel mode. We're going to switch over to our frequency mode. Once we're in our frequency mode, we're going to choose a frequency that we're going to use, and we're going to use 145.310, and I can go
1, 4, 5, 3, 1, 0.
So I have that. I'm going to hit menu. My menu is already set to my offset. That's menu 25. You can hit menu, and then you can scroll up and down till you can get to menu 25. Mine's offset is set to negative, which I want. But if I need to change this,
frequency direction.
I'm going to press the menu button, I'm going to change it to off or positive. I do know that it is a negative offset.
Confirm.
I'm going to confirm it. Then I'm going to go to my offset.
Offset frequency.
Will be 0.
0, 0, 0, 6, 0, 0.
That should be the Colorado Connection's offset.
Confirm.
So those two right there, your offset and your frequency direction is going to be extremely important in order to hear what's going on. I'm not going to hit it from here because number one, I'm in my house, but it is switching over to the 14710. So if you find what frequency you know that you need, or know, you type in your frequency, you do your offset, and then you do your tone. What's your tone? Is it a negative tone, positive tone? So, pardon me. So also the other one's going to be, if I can find it, it's going to be your transmit and your receive. And I can never ever remember where they are. So I'm going to have to scroll through till I find it. There, my TCTS is my transmit. And if I hit one more, whoops, and then hit one more, there's my receive, CTCS. So
CTCSS.
I can hit my menu, and then I would type in my transmit and receive tones.
Confirm.
And I do believe Colorado Connection is 100. I don't have any sheets with me to tell me, and I don't have them all memorized. So that's where you would change your tones. Now, for the Wyco Mag, you will have sheets sent to you with your frequencies and your offsets and your tones, so you can program your Baofengs for communication. I'm not going to actually share any of that information here in a public channel. That is OPSEC, and we don't share that type of information. So that is a quick rundown on how to program your Baofeng.
Channel mode.
That's your channel mode.
Frequency mode.
Frequency mode.
Menu.
So once you get there, and I'm just hitting my up button right here. Once you set that frequency, what you're going to want to do is find an open menu channel.
Memory channel.
So there's memory channel 1. Whoops. Eight is open. So 8 is open. You see it doesn't say anything?
Receiving memory.
I'm going to press menu. It has just added that for a memory channel. I can exit. So go here.
Channel mode.
That's my channel mode.
7.
That's a preset.
8. 1, 2,
So
7,
I just
8.
added it to 8. There it is. It's locked into your memory now.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, there's 2. That's Squaw Mountain for you Colorado guys.
1.
Okay. 1 is Colorado Connection. So I have Colorado Connection in 2 places on my Baofeng. I'll actually be going through and pre-programming this soon. But that's all there really is to programming your Baofeng. Oops, sorry, I was using a microphone. So that's all you're going to do. So switch to frequency mode. Type in the frequency you need. Hit menu. Go to the menu, the offset that you need. Offset is 26. Menu 26. Type in your offset. Hit menu again to lock it.
Menu.
Goes there. To do your shift is menu 25. That's your shift D. Okay. Set that. Hit menu. And once you're done with that, you can just exit out. Menu will bring you back. And we're going to go down. Here's another way we can do this for you guys. So menu 13 is your transmit.
CTCSS. Confirm.
And your receive is menu, was that 11? So menu 11 is receive. So there's some quick ones that, so you can just hit your menu codes and go from there.
Menu.
Menu 25 that I just typed in went right to Shift D. Exit. Okay, so play around with your Baofeng, set your programming and stuff like that. It's really not that difficult. The hard part about this is actually learning what your frequency codes are, what you need. Google searches can bring those up, but YCO Mutual Assistance Group, you will have paperwork sent you with those codes. Those of you that are not, that are just watching this via YouTube, hey, just go on to your local area. If you're in Utah, Virginia, Maine, wherever, just type in Google and then type in ham repeaters. You can also go to Repeater Book, and that will give you a bunch of repeaters in your area. And that way you can get working on listening in on a ham radio. For those of you, and especially for those of you that do not have a license, got to remember, ham radio operation is actually monitored by the FCC. You actually have to have a technician's license in order to transmit, but you don't need one to listen. So if you don't have one, you can still listen. If you have your technicians, hopefully you've been playing around and making contact with people and just saying hi. I know it's really scary at first, and every so often you do get the grumpy old guys that are, you know, they think they own a frequency. It happens, unfortunately, but 90% of ham operators are just absolutely thrilled to have someone new entering this hobby. This is great for down communications. This is, we just had Hurricane Ian. I'll put a date stamp on this for in future time. People are able to communicate. I don't know how the repeaters are doing after the hurricane hit. Some of them might be down, some might still be up, but there's always a way to get in, way to transmit via UHF and VHF off of these. This is not a high frequency. This is not HF. That's a whole different ball game, and you're going to need mostly, if you really want to work HF, you got to get a general's license. I don't have a technician's. I will eventually get a general's, but in order to transmit more, in order to talk on this, you need to have a technician's. Not very hard to get. Download the app, hamstudy.org, and just drill yourself with flashcards. Take the test. You're good to go. Those of you that sat around on your butt and took your time on this, you're going to have to pay some money now. It used to be free, but you sat around, now it's going to cost you. Boy, isn't that a lesson in life. All right, everyone, you know the saying, watch your six. This is Michael McGregor with YCO Resiliency, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.